Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Oh, you don't see me?
Yeah.
Here.
How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
Not bad. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Are you Andra Tévy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm Shakira Shabar. I am the director of the festival, and I'll be conducting this small interview. Very nice having you with us today.
And thank you for selecting the film and for the Zoom meeting.
Yeah. It's thank you for participating. Are you French?
So I'm half French, half Romanian. I'm originally from Romania, but now I'm also French.
Okay. And the film is French?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's something Romanian in it because I did it.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a French production film.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a nice short film. Interesting. And can you start by maybe telling me your background in terms of filmmaking, because maybe I can link it to.
I studied cinema and cinematography. And I worked a lot as a camera assistant, focus puller. And I also work as a DOP on small projects. And otherwise, this is Summertime is my second short film that I wrote and directed. And that's it.
Okay, well, yeah, it's very nice. I could feel watching the movie, the film. I could feel the touch of a cinematographer. Yeah, you know, the shots were very cinematic. Yet it is basically conversation, but also, you know, very interesting the way you the framing, the lights. Well, lights. I think it was natural light that you used.
Well, we shot it on under the sun, but we had some lights also.
Oh, not just reflectors. You had also light.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I'm pretty much attached to controlling the image, because for me, the image is the language, a part of the language we use to tell a cinematic story. And indeed, choosing the lenses and the lights, for me, it's part of how I'd like to tell the story. Yes. If we have the means to do it.
Yeah. If you have the means, the time, and everything to, yeah. And why did you choose comedy as a genre to maybe tell this story? Because well, it is a comedy, but at the same time, it's a choice, I suppose. And I suppose you made this choice on purpose. What did you? What was the objective?
So it wasn't a purpose by in itself, but I think in anything I do, I have such of Eastern Europe humor a little bit, and it's not just straight humor. It's more sarcastic a little bit, and I like very much when you look at yourself and you have humor about yourself, even if it's a difficult situation, or when you have fun of yourself. I mean, if you can detach yourself from yourself, you would have fun about yourself while crying or saying, oh, life is complicated or sad or crazy. And it's tender and ironical at the same time, but I think it's part of how I like to look at things, how I would like to look at things.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, one has this sense of, maybe it helps also accepting a lot of things, the way one look at himself, and being a bit sarcastic, even in relation to oneself, it makes somebody maybe go beyond and not taking too seriously what he's doing, and then maybe go on the other side of whatever difficulties and whatever, I suppose.
It can help, I think, yes.
Yeah.
We cannot do it all. I mean, you need to be able to do it, but when we do it, it's richer, it's better, it helps, I think.
Also, I meant to ask you about the editing. The editing is very interesting also, because it is done in such a way where you're taking the viewer from one conversation to the other, and then very boldly, and yet we can follow, because it starts very slowly, where it's like they were all having a nap and they were all just looking at each other, but as soon as they start communicating, then we get involved. You wanted the viewer to be involved in pretty much all conversations and all what is happening in the different tables of that cafe, and I suppose this was already in the script. I suppose it's not something that the editor did or that you did at the editing. You decided to make the different pace and no. What was the idea?
So indeed, it was in the script, and I think what I wanted while writing is to at some point get the impression that we all talk about the same thing. So we identify the problem at each table, but in the end we all talk about tenderness and love and what we ask to the other to give us, to bring. So I wanted, yes, to make a mixed like I don't know how you say in English, like you do with hair or with a tissue, to mix everything, and like they all were at the same table and it's the same subject, in fact.
Yes.
And this was in the writing, in the script. But the difficulty was that when you go to the editing, you always feel like cutting things, because you understand things faster than when you write the script. So you need to cut some things, and it's very as it was a reaction on the last word of a sentence to another table. It was very difficult to cut inside the dialogues, and
it was, but it's also what makes it surprising and surprisingly nice, because we were able to follow. I mean, you would cut to another table with a line that does not respond directly to the line said, but yet puts us back into that second conversation which we had previously followed. So it's an interesting way to also create some kind of dynamic between these tables that are, the people are just sitting. In fact, it's not an action movie, but at the same time, there are things going on, and and it's the conversation that conveys that.
It was the challenge, indeed. I like challenges. I like always to have. To have something very precise to obtain, and to have a challenge also in the way the cinematic narratives goes. And yes, this was very exciting to see if it works or not. Yeah.
And then you explored also the theme of the grass is always greener on the other side of the of the valley or the river. This is also very humoristic, because sometimes we feel other people are happier than us, and and then we then we act upon that when in fact you know, we may get it wrong. I mean, it just impressions are not reality, you know. It's but then as you show in your film, sometimes making this kind of reactions and deciding to leave the table, well, creates a new dynamic, you know.
Yes, it was a real question during the writing. We felt like something needed to, a big thing needed to happen as a consequence.
Yeah. So you made the husband more aware of his situation. And the kids. You had a lot of kids in the film, and why did you want to have that many kids? And their role is different, I suppose. You know, they follow what's going on, they interact, but they're at another level. I mean, it's not like the parents, what the parents have in mind there, you know.
Yes, I saw very quickly that they won't have the same place in the same. It won't be balanced the same place as the adults. But for me, it was important to show that at any age we have this distortion of perception, and the guy, the child alone, the lonely child, is envious on the brother and sister, but it's an illusion because he doesn't really know what's happening in the family. And it was important for me to say that at any age we have
illusions.
Yes.
It's I think this is very nicely conveyed, you know, between, but also the fact that maybe the family life is taking care of kids, but then also going back to basics. Why are we together? And obviously there is always this tension, you know. We're family, yet you know, we need to take into account that we're also a couple, and I think this the way you pointed to this tension is interesting, you know, because it happens to a lot of couples, a lot of families where they live this dilemma a little bit. We can't be just mom and dad. I mean,
yes. And you can forget about being here just for the other person, like as a couple.
Exactly. Yes. So it's you said a lot of things in one place, one moment in particular of the day, and then you try to convey all this. That's very nice. How long did it take you to shoot this? Because it looked like one scene, in fact. But yeah, it was probably, it took a lot of time, and maybe that's why you needed to light control totally the light, because you're outside and the light changes during the day, and you had to
keep it stable. So in fact, we didn't know how the weather would be. We filmed it in the south of France, so it's usually we have sun, but you never know. And we filmed it during 4 days. And so usually we filmed table by table. So for the wide shot, they were all together, but otherwise they weren't there at the same time. So we only filmed one table today, one table the day after. And also the light is because I wanted that it looks like heaven, you know, like I wanted really like when you are on holidays, or it's like heaven. Everything is nice and shiny and hot, and you are just time stopped.
Yeah.
And
kind of a paradise
yes,
feel, and then we see that in the lights, it's the faces are all shining because they're flown with with lights, a lot of lights, so it actually took 4 days, and it looks like just a half hour
yes.
half hour thing. But that's interesting because you were able to really keep the light as it is, because in half an hour you can't have all these not even slight change between between shots, because you would feel it, but we didn't feel at all that those changes.
Yes, this was now I remember. It was the choice of the set was important regarding the sun. So for example, we wanted a set at the north, so the sun won't be there, but we didn't find a place, a nice terrace on the north. So the sun.
The camera wasn't pointing towards the north when the white it was pointing.
No, I mean, we wanted that the terrace would be in the shadow the entire day, so the sun wouldn't change position. But we didn't find that. So, for example, the sun started by lightening the left side of the people, and at the end of the day, it lit the right side of the people.
Yeah,
and that was a problem to keep the direction and to
make. So how did you solve it? Big light. You had a big light to.
For the not the wide shots, but for the tight shots. Yes, we could put diffusion on the sun and then lit a little bit on the other side. So the idea was to film several days on the same actor, so all the mornings on that actor, all the afternoons. But this was too complicated for the team, for the actors. And as we had each actor during one day and a half, we needed to do one table per day. So yes, it was diffusion. We needed to put diffusion for the sun and keep the contrasts and the direction with lights.
Yeah, well, I don't know how you'd have done it if you weren't a cinematographer yourself.
I had a DOP, so
but still, I mean, communication and telling exactly what you want, because you know it can be done, and most directors would leave that to the DOP, and they would maybe just react and say, no, this is not what I want.
Yes, that's nice to understand what people do and what are their problems and how they need to do to solve them. This is a good thing for knowing really the set.
Yeah. By the way, we have Romanian cinematographers have a good reputation in Morocco. We had a lady working here many years, and she still works from time to time in Morocco. And for some reason, we feel people from Romania are masters of the image. If that is justified or not, but we believe it here in.
Oh, that's nice. Is it? I think it's. She went to the same school as me in Paris.
I'm not sure. I think there is a school in Romania, cinema school. Or I'm not sure. I couldn't tell, but she is Romanian.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yes, there's also a very good cinema school in Bucharest, in Romania.
In Bucharest, yes. But tell me, what are your future projects? Give us an idea.
So I write these days, and well, so it's not ready to be filmed, but I write fiction, and also I'm thinking maybe of doing some documentaries.
Okay.
But it's pretty new for me to really think of directing documentaries.
And what you're writing is a fiction, a short fiction or feature? Or?
A feature and a short film.
Oh, okay. So
yes.
And are you leaning towards comedy again, or?
It's not pure comedy. I really like. I think I really like. I think you need comedy or humor in life. I mean, even if it's a disaster, there are comic situations or tragical situation. There is always a place for comedy moments, because life is tragic and comic at the same time. So it wouldn't be a pure comedy, but it's always with tenderness. It's critical with tenderness on the characters.
So, well, this is in fact to me a better way to write, because as you say, life is a mix of tragic and drama and comedy, and all the time. So it's good to find that in cinema, and it gives in cinema it can express some things in a bit more effective way. Sometimes it can make things more pleasant. It can let us breathe when it's too heavy. Then sometimes we need to. It's better for dramatization to stop a little bit before you jump again into drama, and comedy does help. And in Rabat Festival we like to see this kind of work, because to us comedy is a full form of cinema expression, and we like to expose it as much as possible so that it becomes a genre very well respected everywhere. We feel sometimes people think that comedy is kind of less than other genre in cinema, and we think that's not true, but one has to defend this idea and show work that defend this idea.
And do you also write dramatic comedies or comedy or?
Well, yes. Are you asking me personally?
Yes.
I'm also a director, so I write my scripts, and I try. Yeah, as just as you say, comedy is a very nice way by introducing humor to tell a story and give to that story more. Give it more depth, more it becomes to me much more interesting, and it's always better than what a lot of people did for a long time. For example, go into drama and stay with drama, and becomes sometimes melodramatic because they don't allow themselves to other psychological positions for the characters, and then even the viewer is drawn toward that kind of emotions, and I think comedy is very 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 important and very interesting to use for storytelling. So well, the best luck for your future project, and if you have a project with comedy or comedy by itself, please submit it. We'll be delighted to have it, and hopefully we'll be able maybe next time to bring you over to Morocco, because this time we couldn't bring the directors. It's a new festival. We still lack the resources, but hopefully in the future it will grow, and then we'll be able to meet here in Rabat, so that you get to know our city.
Oh, it would be great. And so thank you for the selection, and
best luck.
Good luck with your projects, and
I
hope people will enjoy your selection, and
I think they will enjoy it. Yeah. And thank you so much for being with us, and best luck to your film in the competition, and and let's hope we'll meet soon.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, now, bye bye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.